And we welcome you to Rustler Field on the campus of Golden West College as today SportsNetUSA.net presents Golden West Rustler Football. It's the final game of the non-conference season as the 2-2 Rustlers play host to the 3-1 Cougars of College of the Canyons. A great Saturday afternoon to you wherever you may be this first Saturday in October. Rustlers ready to get after it here today to wrap up the non-conference season. Rahshaun, Haylock alongside Ryan Osborn, Ed Ford manning the controls, ready to bring this one here to you on a Saturday afternoon. Rustlers wearing their alternate Kelly green uniforms today. They won the opening toss and elected to defer. So it'll be Max Casper putting it on the tee for the Rustlers. Back to receive it for COC is Tyquan Gilmore and Lennox Howard. Both of these two teams coming to here riding winning streaks. Rustlers have won their last two all away from home. And Canyons has won 3 in a row after dropping their opener to Saddleback. Casper puts boot to ball, left to right, and we are underway here inside Huntington Beach. That one is muffed, and it looks like the Rustlers have recovered. Rustlers say they have it, they do, inside the 30-yard line. What a fortuitous start to this one for Golden West. The special teams miscues throughout the course of this season have all gone against Golden West, but they finally get one to go in their favor on the opening kickoff this afternoon. And the Rustlers recover it, and it'll be Nate Espinoza leading the offense out onto the field. Ball on the left hash mark going left to right. It'll be Espinoza with 4 wide receivers. Atencio in the slot, Armstrong to his right. Tajay Morant gets the carry, goes to the left side. He spins and is wrestled down to the turf at the 25-yard line. Rustlers on that offensive line, Adrian Montez, remember he left the game last week with an injury. A couple times he had to be helped off the field. He practiced late in the week, and he is in the lineup today. Jacob Beckler, Spencer Blake, Lava Tawaka, and Parker Thomas on that offensive line. It'll be a 2nd down and 5 at the 25. Espinoza going to keep it himself. Now looks to throw, tucks it across the line of scrimmage, just shy of the 1st down marker as he gets out of bounds with 14-17 to play here in this first quarter. So Rustlers force an early turnover and look to take advantage here inside of College of the Canyons territory. 3rd down and 2 from the 22-yard line. Sticks right at the 20 for the Rustlers. Under 14 to play here first quarter. Ball right hash for Espinoza, has Morant to his right. Hobbs, the tight end, is in the backfield. Espinoza going to keep it himself. Espinoza through the middle. Espinoza into the end zone. Touchdown, Rustlers.
And the 22-yard touchdown for the Golden West Rustlers.
So Espinoza on the keeper goes right, finds a crease of daylight, and takes advantage. 4th rushing touchdown on the season for Nate the Great. He's got 4 of the Rustlers' 5 rushing touchdowns on the year, and they lead it here 6-0. Atencio to hold. Orodondo, the left-footed kick, is through. So Golden West 7, COC nothing as you're watching Rustler football right here on SportsNetUSA.net. Rahshaun Haylock here alongside Ryan Osborn, Ed Ford manning the controls. First Saturday in September, final non-conference game for both of these teams, and what a start here for the Rustlers.
And Rahshaun, you have to look at Tajay Morant as he sets up the block going through the hole on the right-hand side. He ends up going through that right hole, picks up the outside linebacker to set up the block for Espinoza. Espinoza keeps his left hand on the back of Morant and follows him into the block and then moves away from it into the end zone. If it's not for Morant, that run doesn't happen.
Give Morant the assist there. Nice pickup there by you, Ryan Osborn. As we're happy to have you back here on Rustler football for this final non-conference affair. Casper will put it on the tee. This one kicks short again, but running up and catching it is Gilmore at the 21-yard line. Has a crease on the far side, gets outside the numbers at the 40, where he's gang tackled near the 45-yard line. Special teams play made for the Rustlers by J.J. Young. So we'll see the COC offense for the first time today. And let me tell you, it is a dangerous offense. And Ted Iacinda, seventh-year head coach, says so himself. You don't really hear coaches brag about their teams too often. They normally talk about how they can get better. Iacinda not shy of his praise for this COC team, led by Armani Edding at quarterback, 6'1" sophomore out of West Palm Beach, Florida. Edding takes the snap, delivers it in the flat, incomplete as he was looking for Caden Dunn coming out of the backfield. Eden completing 68% of his passes, 1,121 yards on the season, 9 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. He's a transfer from Antelope Valley College. Was with the CLC program all of last year, did not play, however, and had an opportunity to learn this offense. Ball on the far hash, they hand it off to Dunn. Dunn off the right side, and he's able to squirt through, and he's held up there, and the referees blow him down. Nice job there by the Rustler defense, corralling to the football. Jalen Harrington there, VJ Malo also in pursuit, as Dunn was able to get that up to the 50-yard line. So ball right at midfield, brings up a 3rd down and 5 for the Cougars. Rustlers in their alternate Kelly green uniforms here today. Empty set now for Edding. You got to watch him. He's a threat with his legs. Pressure coming, and he's sacked. Seli Pamasa picks up the sack. And what a start here for these Rustlers as they force a 3 and out and enter the punting unit for COC. 12:36 left in this first quarter. Rustlers 7, COC nothing. As Tanner Branson stands at his own 20-yard line to receive this punt off the leg of Tanner Brown. And Brown has a leg, folks. He can punt well, but really, he's going to make his money as a place kicker. Pressure coming, Brown gets rid of it, and a rocket to Branson, retreating backwards, catches it at the 15, circles over to the 20-yard line, spins and is picked up and piled down to the turf right there at the 25-yard line by Jovan Camacho on the special teams unit for COC. 11:58 left, first quarter. Rustlers 7, COC nothing, as Golden West looking for some points here once again on their second possession of this ball game. In case you're just joining us, Rustlers won the toss, elected to defer. Opening kickoff was kicked short, taken by an up man, and he muffed it. Picked up by the Rustlers. They had it at the 30-yard line of COC, were able to capitalize on the Espinoza touchdown. They go to the ground game one more time. Here's Morant off the left side, outside the numbers at the 20-yard line, down at the 25-yard line. Pickup of about 2 there for Tajay.
Second and 8.
Defensively for COC. Benjamin Seymour, Jack Schultz, Ariane Peoples is a load on that front line. Here's Espinoza taking the snap, has to jump up to get it, hands it off to Morant. He goes right up the gut. And Charles Ike there making the stop. The inside linebacker coming up there, and he is a good one, folks. Morant gets it up to the 29-yard line. So a 3rd down, let's call it 6 coming up for the Rustlers. Khaleb Jones, I beg your pardon, Ike and Richardson, the linebackers. Matthew Valentine, Madison Wheeler, Jock Vukobradovic, Trey Voller, and Chance Edwards Morgan, the 5 DBs. 4 wide receivers. Espinoza takes the snap above his head, delivers, steps up. Atencio up the boundary, takes a big shot, stays on his feet inside of midfield and out of bounds at the 45-yard line of COC. An absolute dime thrown there by Nate Espinoza. And David Atencio, we've seen him on these little bubble screens throughout the season, but that time he goes deep up the boundary and able to make the catch. 1st and 10 Rustlers, 45-yard line of COC. 10:23 left first quarter. Rustlers up by 7. They stack the receivers to each side as Espinoza works out of the pistol, stands at midfield, hands it off to Morant. Now he's going to keep it, throws it out in the flat. Pass is caught there on the boundary, outside the numbers, inside the 40, and getting out of bounds at the 39-yard line of COC is Casey Carr. So give Carr about 6 there on the reception. Brings up a 2nd down and 4 for the Rustlers. Same formation, ball far hash mark. Make it the 38-yard line of COC. Out of the pistol once again is Espinoza. Now he steps up, puts his right hand out, points over to the left side, and calls for some motion for his receivers. Takes the snap chest high. Steps up, looking up the boundary again. Far side, caught, end zone, out of bounds. Out of bounds. Pass was thrown up there, but just not enough room there for Ramsey to make the catch inbounds. And so it brings up a 3rd down for Golden West. Nice coverage there by Chase Edwards Morgan. Didn't give Ramsey much room to work with there on that far side. We see Devin Jackson for the first time here this afternoon. Jackson to the right of Espinoza. Far hash mark. Espinoza takes the snap, looking for Ramsey again. He had it in his hands and he dropped it right along the sideline. That would have been a big gain inside of the 10-yard line. Maybe even could have scored there had he held on to it. Ball was above his head. He tried to haul it in unsuccessfully, however. And it brings up a 4th down and enter, let's see, Espinoza in the offense stand on the field. That weird territory where a little bit too long for a field goal, too short to punt. Of course, the pooch kick always in play here. Haven't seen Espinoza do that this season. Won't do it here. Takes the snap over the middle, incomplete, and a flag comes in. Jeremiah Wright, the intended wide receiver there, and he was held up. They're going to get Joseph Miller with a pass interference, it appears.
Pass interference on the defense, number 24. The ball will be put at the start of the foul. First down.
Ed Zapolsky, our white hat today. The umpire, Mike Sotelo. The headlinesman, Chad Murphy. The line judge, Cal Takau. The field judge, Corey McMenamin. The side judge, John Gill. And the back judge, Victor Hawthorne.
On the Cougars' 25-yard line.
Corey McManaman, the field judge, I beg your pardon. Ball at the 25-yard line. Play fake. Espinoza looking airborne. Far side. Nearly a tremendous one-hand grab over there in the back corner of the end zone by Wright. It was Edwards Morgan there on the coverage once again. It brings up a 2nd down and 10. I tell you, Jeremiah's trying to channel his inner OBJ there and come down with that one unsuccessfully. So Hobbs, the tight end in the slot. To his left is Atencio. Split far to the right is Armstrong. 3 wide receivers on this near side. Ball far hash mark. The lone receiver up top is Carr. Espinoza going to keep it on the left side. He was wrestling with Jackson for it as he tried to get it out of Jackson's belly. Able to do so, gets up to the 20-yard line before he's grabbed at the shoulders and thrown down there by Johns, the linebacker. Or Tyler Richardson making the stop there, the sophomore out of Paraclete. Check that. 8.5 to play here, first quarter. 3rd down and call it 5 from the 20-yard line of COC. They give it to Jackson off the left side. Jackson the crease. Jackson a hurdle. And he's close to the first down marker. He's down at about the 15-yard line, and looks like he got it. They stop the clock to move the sticks. So that's going to be a first down. So Devin Jackson off the left side goes off to that far sideline, is able to pick up the first down. Rustlers needed 5. He picked up 5, and it brings up a 1st and 10 for the Rustlers at the 15-yard line of the Cougars. Jackson lines up right behind Espinoza in the pistol. Under 8 to play here, first quarter. Snap taken, belt high. Espinoza looking near corner of the end zone, and he overshot everybody. Hobbs was there. He was triple teamed over there in this near corner of the end zone. And nice job by Espinoza to throw that one, basically threw it away. No one was going to be able to get to that. Brings up a 2nd down and 10.
2nd and 10 for the Rustlers.
Twin wide receivers. The tight end Hobbs is in the slot here to this near side. To his right is Armstrong. Ball far hash mark. The receivers on that side are Carr in the slot and right split wide. They send Jackson in motion to clear everything out. Espinoza on a draw. There was nothing inside and there was nothing outside as he gets sprayed out to that far sideline and out of bounds at the 15-yard line. No gain there. And a 3rd and long as a bevy of substitutions come to the game for these Cougars. Looks like hockey out here, a bunch of line changes. I'm sure you can appreciate that, Ryan Osborn.
They brought the entire Russian 5 out.
The entire Russian 5. 7:24 left. Hobbs in the slot far side. Atencio in the slot near side. Twin wide receivers for Atencio. 8 on the play clock here. He's got one back, that's Jackson. He stays in to protect. Atencio looking near side, and miscommunication there. There was Atencio was over there as well as Carr, and no one really looked for that ball. Went over both of their heads into the far corner of the end zone, fell incomplete, and so that'll bring on the kicking unit. So last week up in Bakersfield, Jose Arredondo didn't even attempt a field goal. He was 2 for 2 on extra points. He's called on here early. 7:09 left in this first quarter. This one going to be from 32 yards on the far hash mark for the lefty. The snap is good. The hold is down. The kick is up and through. So a 2-possession lead here earlier for the Rustlers. 7:04 to play here on SportsNetUSA.net, and the Rustlers lead it 10-0. If you're Nick Mitchell, I don't know if you can ask for much of a better start here for these Rustlers. Sure, you probably would have liked a little bit better execution there offensively, but you still get points out of the drive. Force an early turnover and then a 3-and-out by your defense. And you scored on both possessions here so far in this game. There's royalty here. Hey, Coach, how are you? Likewise. Corona Centennial head coach Matt Logan just stepped in the booth to tell us hello. We are amongst royalty, folks. 7:04 to play here, first quarter. Casper puts it on the tee. Casper puts it on the tee to be Gilmore deep back to receive, and this one will be taken by Edwards. He has to run up to get it on the far side, outside the hash marks, and he's going to be wrestled down at about the 40-yard line. That's Lennox Howard there on the return, I beg your pardon. 10-0 Rustlers. While we have a moment, let's remind you that Golden West Rustler football right here on SportsNetUSA.net is brought to you in part by Miller Toyota of Anaheim, where service and parts is open 7 days a week for your convenience. Located at the 91 in Euclid and also on the web at MillerToyotaofAnaheim.com. Miller Toyota of Anaheim supports community college sports and education. Quick pass here in the flat. Caden Dunn juggles it, catches it, and is going to be dragged down to the turf by Pamasa from behind. He gets inside the 45-yard line and wrestled out of bounds here on this near side.
setting up a second
Picks up
and
6, and it'll be 2nd down and 4 for the Cougars, just shy of midfield. Ball at the 47-yard line of COC. One back. It's done. He gets the carry, and he's met in the hole. Sele Pamasa. Big time hit there. You talk about run fits. You want your linebackers to come up and make those plays. Pamasa, an excellent job there that time making that play. Brings up a 3rd down and short here. Ball at the 49-yard line. Eden out of the gun. Hands it off, Dunn one more time. He's going to get across midfield. That's going to give him enough for a 1st down. Tried the left side there that time, and it was enough. Pamasa in there on the stop. Jalen Harrington there as well. And also Alex Reich, who from now on is going to be known as Cheese on this broadcast. The Switzerland native. All of his teammates call him Cheese for Swiss cheese, you get it? He's been a stud so far defensively here for these Rustlers on this young season. 5.5 to play here in this 1st quarter. As they go to the ground one more time. And that's Moises Haynes getting the carry there. And Haynes across the 45-yard line. And pick up 5 there. Going to bring up a 2nd down and 5 for the Cougars.
That's the 3rd straight tackle for Pumasa.
He's everywhere. He's everywhere. It's incredible. 3 wide receivers. Eddings comes up to alert his O-line of the play. Steps back in the gun. Now they look over to the sideline as the play is changed one more time. Eddings steps up to the line of scrimmage. Barks some instructions to his offensive line. Now backpedals to get in the gun. Has one back that's done, and the play clock expired. A little casual there, Ryan Osborn, and it's going to cost him 5.
And when the Cougar offense took a look at the sideline, it seemed like even after they got the play call, they weren't sure how they were going to approach the line, whether to go with an audible or to stay with the play call. Thus leading to the confusion.
So that confusion has now led to a 2nd down and 10. We're under 4.5 to play here in the 1st quarter. 10-0 Rustlers. Play fake. Eddings back to pass. Going to step up. This is where he's dangerous. He can use his feet. But the Rustlers there disciplined defensively. Jordan Chambers there making the stop. Jose Orlando there as well as they stop the COC quarterback to a minimal gain. Picks up just about 3 there as he gets it up to the 45-yard line of the Rustlers as we hit the 4-minute mark here in this 1st quarter. So Eddings with 3 receivers to his right, ball in between the hash marks, 1 receiver near his side, takes the snap, looking for somewhere to go. He's boxed in, now has to chase, run for his life, breaks the tackle of Levy, and barely is able to get back to the original line of scrimmage. Sean Branch flying through and able to make the stop. There is a flag down, however, in the secondary. It appeared to be great defense there by the Rustlers. But let's see. Here's Ed Zapolsky.
Number 8 on the defense. Taking a penalty for the previous spot. Results in a 1st down.
So they're going to get Jonathan Earl for defensive holding. And what would have been a 3rd and long ends up being a 1st and 10 for COC at the Rustler 35-yard line. Dunn, the lone back, ball near hash mark. Eddings out of the gun, hands it off Dunn, off right guard, and Moises Ale comes up to make the stop after a gain of about 2.
After a short gain from Dunn.
It's ball at the 32-yard line. Brings up a 2nd down and about 7, we'll call it. Dunn to the right of Eddings. 3 wide receivers. Shotgun snap taken, belt high. Looking down the field, end zone, incomplete.
Eddie looking for
Isaiah Palmer there on the coverage. He was looking for Trayvon Elliott, freshman out of Indianapolis. And it looked like Elliott had that one. It just went in and out of his hands, Ryan.
He had separation, and that was quite literally in the breadbasket. He got both of his arms on the football, but while he was receiving it, he was still taking a look at where the defender was. That's where the drop comes from.
And that's the first time we saw it, but a tremendous speed advantage on the outside with these COC wide receivers. You got to think they're going to take advantage of that more and more as this game goes along. There's a snap taken by Eddings, has his man once again on this far side. A nice job of breaking tackles outside the hash marks and getting it inside the 10-yard line.
takes it all the way inside the 5-yard line.
That's Van Travius Williams, the freshman out of Fort Lauderdale. So these wide receivers have speed on top of speed on top of speed, and Williams
With the big game.
making the huge play there. Pickup of 27 on the play. First and goal COC at the 5-yard line. Eddings with Dunn directly behind him out of the pistol. Hands it off to Dunn. He tries that right side, and he's going to be stopped just shy of the goal line. So a 4-yard pickup there, but he's right on the doorstep at the 1. And those are some big boys up front on that Cougar offensive line. Left to right, Killian Zaire, Tomas Boucher, Jordan Palmer, the all-conference center, Azad Marcosi in the right guard, and Keaton Dioff, sophomore out of Maryland. They go to the ground game one more time, and this time the Cougars get into the end zone. It's a touchdown for the quarterback, Eddings, and COC is on the board for the first time this afternoon. With 1:27 left in this first quarter, it's now Rustlers 10, COC 6.
Armani Eddy with the 2-yard score for the Cougars.
So here's Tanner Brown to attempt the point after.
Tanner Brown in to attempt the extra point.
High snap, but the hold is down, and the kick is good. So with 1:27 to play, it's Golden West 10, COC 7.
Golden West College 10.
As this is Rustler football right here on SportsNetUSA.net. Ryan Osborn, Ed Ford here with you. Yours truly, Rahshaun Haylock. And a nice drive put together there by COC. They had some help though, Ryan Osborn. You can see how a penalty can be costly. What would have been a 3rd and long ends up being a 1st and 10 because of the defensive holding. And COC able to extend the drive and later find the end zone.
This is something that we kind of saw last year in the San Diego Mesa game for Golden West, where they had drives, where they had defensive stops that would just be killed by that not turnover, but penalties. It really just racks your momentum and doesn't give you a chance to limit the opposing offense.
Tajay Morant, Stephen Jones deep to receive this one. Ted Iacinda says Tanner Brown's kickoffs that result in the touchbacks touch the stars. No stars here today inside of Rustler Field, but we'll see if he can hit some clouds. And it's pretty much what he did. Booming kick there by Brown. Retreating backwards was Jones, making the fair catch in the end zone to be 1st and 10 Rustlers at the 25-yard line.
After the fair catch, the Rustlers
Both of these teams will be on a bye next week. It'll be the
25-yard line.
the standard SCFA bye, at least in the national division, before they start conference play the week after. Rustlers will open up conference play with the Bell game against OCC. And that game will be right here at Rustler Field, October the 19th. Nate the Great going back to work. He has Morant behind him in the pistol. Twin wide receivers, ball in between the hash marks. Snap taken, belt high, delivers far side. Outside the numbers is Carr. And Carr across the 35-yard line. He swung around and thrown out of bounds shy of the 40 but enough for a first down for the Rustlers as they mark them out at the 39-yard line. 14-yard pickup there for Golden West. Ball in between the hash marks. Espinoza takes it chest high, delivers in the flat out there to Atencio. That's where he's made his money throughout the course of this season, on those little bubble screens outside. And Atencio averaging 10 yards per catch, gets 11 here up to midfield. And another first down for the Rustlers. Oh, check that. They mark him back at the 49-yard line. Still, are you kidding me? Wow. So second and inches.
Second and 1 for the Rustlers.
Second and inches for the Rustlers. Under 30 seconds left here in this first quarter. Espinoza was going to give it to Morant, kept it himself off the left side, outside the hash marks, and down inside of COC territory at the 48-yard line. And that could be the last play of this quarter, Ryan Osborn.
And it's been a quarter in which Golden West has really thrived. You look at the opening kickoff, they end up getting the ball back, and all of a sudden, this Golden West offense just kind of comes alive in the first 10.
So that takes us to the end of the first quarter. After one, Golden West 10, COC 7. And this is Rustler football right here on SportsNetUSA.net. Rahshaun and Haylock alongside Ryan Osborn. Ed Ford here with you on this first Saturday in October. Rustlers scored 10 straight to start this game. COC answered with an Eddings quarterback run of a couple yards for a TD. Jose Orredondo had a 32-yard field goal to make it 10-0. Before that Eddings 2-yard touchdown run. And the COC team, maybe they found their bearings, not sure. Certainly looked a little shell-shocked to start this one. Some other scores around California. San Mateo on top of Modesto 7-6. San Francisco up 7-0 on Syracuse. They flip fields, ball near hash mark. Rustlers going right to left here in this second quarter. Ball at the 48-yard line of COC. Morant stood up just shy of the 45-yard line.
He's met by a host of Cougars.
It's about the 46-yard line they mark it. Second down and 8 for Golden West. Armstrong split wide to the left of the formation. That's the short side of the field as the ball is on the near hash mark. Trips to the far side. Espinoza in the pistol with Morant directly behind him. About a foot separates them. Espinoza takes the snap, in trouble, now going to get flushed out of the pocket, rolling right, throwing on the run over the head of everybody and out of bounds. He had Armstrong on this near sideline, but heavy pressure there put on the Rustler quarterback by that defensive front led by Benjamin Seymour, the freshman out of Valencia. Tyler Richardson, the linebacker, also in there creating some havoc. So a third and long for the Rustlers. 14 and 10 seconds left in this second quarter. 10-7 Rustlers. Ball near hash mark at the 46-yard line. Espinoza takes the snap, belt high, pressure coming, hit as he throws, delivers outside, caught. Atencio outside the numbers at the 35-yard line, and enough for a first down. A 9-yard pickup there from Nate to Atencio. And Rustlers moving the sticks once again here on this drive.
That was a beautiful cut by Atencio. As soon as he got about 7 yards upfield, he gets the hash mark and then cuts the outside.
You know, in the schoolyard, they say, man, he's got routes. Atencio Tremendous route runner. Here's Morant getting the carry on the right side. He runs right into the arms of big number 90 Peoples.
After a short
A
break,
flag comes in
play.
by the referee, our white hat Ed Zapolsky.
Holding offense, number 76. 10-yard penalty for the previous spot. Replay, first down.
And you just about figured that, right, Ryan? Every time the white hat throws one, it's got to be right there in that neighborhood of offensive holding, and it's going to be a hold against this Rustler offense. Coming up at the half, Ryan Osborn, Ed Ford will take you through CCCAA football throughout the state of California, along with other shenanigans, as just 5 left on the play clock, and a break there for the Rustlers as they had to blow the whistle dead to change the box. It said second down, should have been first down. Here's Espinoza, empty set on the slot. Hobbs had it.
Oh, the pass is dropped by Trevor Hobbs.
He had space in the slot, and Hobbs just could not hang on. Wow. So 13-11 left. I'm sure that's one Hobbs will want back. 2 crucial drops early here, Ryan Osborn. Hobbs had one, Ramsey had one back in the first quarter. Trips to this near side, ball far hash mark, Espinoza takes the snap, chest high, pressure coming. Espinoza on the run. This is where he's dangerous. Nate the Great, there he goes, using his legs, 30-yard line, slides inside the 25-yard line, and he was hit late there by Ike, the linebacker, and Nate is hurt. Nate throws off his helmet as he rolls around on the turf in pain. No flag comes in there, Ryan Osborn. He clearly gave himself up. A similar situation happened last week too, where he took a big shot up in Bakersfield after sliding. But Nate is in some serious pain here down at about the 29-yard line. Espinoza is hurt. Nick Mitchell comes out to check on him. Tajay Morant huddles around him as well before he's advised to go back to the far sideline to the Rustler huddle. But Espinoza surrounded by members of the training staff as he lies in between the 25 and 20-yard line inside of COC territory. I didn't see any flag, Ryan.
No, it didn't look like anyone was thrown. Hit may have been just slightly late, but it still looked like it was already initiating contact prior to him going into the slide.
I'm telling you, the same thing happened last week, and he took a big shot in the ribs. I think one thing about Nate, he kind of slides late, and so he doesn't really get the benefit of these calls, but wow. I mean, the same thing happened up in Bakersfield a week ago. Except he was able to get off and shake it off very quickly. This time, I mean, he threw off his helmet and was in some kind of pain. And if you're the Rustlers now, you're looking behind Espinoza. We've seen Zach Lewis so far this season. He almost engineered a comeback against Fullerton earlier this season, but hasn't really played much since. And also Richard Wagner. And Nate's going to have to be helped off the field here. They get him up on his feet, but a couple of Rustlers come up off the sideline to help him off the field. And he's not putting any pressure on that right leg, as both Jackson and Morant are on that right side trying to help him get off the field. And Nick Mitchell talking to the officials right now. And he can't be happy. One, his starting quarterback is being helped off the field due to an injury. And two, no flag on that play. So let's see who it's going to be for the Rustlers. It'll be Zach Lewis. Lewis, 19 of 41, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions this season, 229 yards, 6-foot freshman out of Sammamish, Washington. The hometown of former USC and Pitt quarterback Max Brown. Rustlers starting the pistol near hash mark. High snap, climbing the stairs to get it is Lewis as he hands it off to Morant. Morant tries the left side. He's tackled by Ike there at about the 20-yard line, make it the 21. 12:46 left in this second quarter. And if you're a Rustler fan, a lot of concern over there with Nate Espinoza, who's lying on the trainer's table on the far sideline. 2nd down and 4 from the 21. Morant will take the carry. Left side has a hole. Morant, a little bit of a crease up to the 15-yard line, but there is a flag on the play. And this one may go against the Rustlers. And it does. Ed Zapolsky says an offensive holding against the Rustlers, so this will move them back to the 31-yard line of COC.
Jacob Beckler flag for the hold. That would move the Rustlers back to the 31-yard line.
They get the left side, Beckler,
Setting up
the
a
left
second
guard
and
for the hold. And Beckler's a player these Rustlers would like to see a little bit more consistency from. So a 2nd and long. Lewis going to pass for the first time today. There's a screen set up. Morant breaks the first tackle at the 30. Morant with space, 25-yard line outside the near hash. And Morant nearly has that ball raked away, but holds on to it for dear life at the 15-yard line. Tajay Morant making things happen in the passing game.
As Morant was going upfield, he makes a lot of coaches happy there. He holds on to the ball with both hands. He doesn't tuck it into his side. He goes into contact with both of his hands, securing the football first. Yardage comes later.
So a 3rd down and 1 now as Lewis orchestrating the offense here for the injured Espinoza. Barks instructions to that offensive line, now backpedals. Has Valier in there, and Valier going to take the handoff, and let's see if the forward progress got him anything. I don't know. I'm not sure, Ryan Osborn. He may have been stopped right dead in his tracks. Orion Peoples and that hefty defensive line for COC standing tall there. No gain, 4th down, and enter the kicking unit. So Orredondo will attempt this one. He made a 32-yarder earlier. This one from 33 on the near hash mark, the left hash mark for the left-footed kicker. He kind of stubbed it, and it bangs off the right upright. No good. So Orredondo unsuccessful there, and the COC defense is able to stand tall, and the lead remains 10-7 Rustlers with 10:25 to play here in this first half. I don't know, Ryan, did that look like a bad hold? It looked like the hold was okay, right?
Hold looked good, snap looked good, just ended up going too far off to the right.
Incredible. So they go with the ground game to start this drive, and it'll be a 2-yard pickup for COC.
Haynes on the carry.
That's Haynes getting the carry for the Cougars. 2nd and 8 coming up. Ball at the 22-yard line, just inside this near hash mark. 3 wide, 2 backs for Eddings. Play fake, throws it in the flat to Dunn. Had to get airborne for that one as he catches it in the backfield. He's going to be hitting the backfield as well, down at the 20-yard line outside the hash marks on that far side. Rustler defense making plays. That was Manuzzi in there to make that stop. And Manuzzi had himself quite a game last week up in Bakersfield. The freshman out of Kailua, Hawaii. One of the best beaches I've ever been to in my life, Ryan Osborn. Kailua Beach. Get there one day. You won't regret it, I promise you. And I don't make promises. 9:13 to play here. Second quarter. We got a timeout coming.
College of the Canyons calls a timeout.
So a timeout taken by the Cougars. And it comes with 9:10 to play in this first half. While we have a moment, let us remind you that Golden West Rustler football right here on SportsNetUSA.net is brought to you in part by Miller Toyota of Anaheim. Used car deals, new car deals. What kind of special you want? They surely have it, located at the 91 and Euclid, and also on the web at MillerToyotaofAnaheim.com. That's Miller Toyota of Anaheim. They support community college sports and education. Rahshaun Haylock, Ryan Osborn, the talented Ed Ford here with you on a beautiful 75-degree day here in Surf City, USA. Just a gorgeous day. The air show is in town, and always a big day here in this Huntington Beach community. Rustlers, meanwhile, going up against one of the top teams in the state and giving them all they got here in this first half. They lead at 10-7, 9:10 to play here in this first half. Ball far hash mark. Eddings takes the snap. Belt high, looking far side, and he skips it right in front of his receiver. Incomplete. And the Rustlers are going to force a punt here against these Cougars. That pass was intended for Williams, who had the big reception earlier in this one. Yeah, I tell you, it's still a lot of ball game left in this one, Ryan Osborn. But Eddings came into this game with a big rep, a lot of accolades, and so far he's looked a little rocky here to start this one. He's been stellar through the first part of this season. 9:02 left. Here's Brown taking the snap at the 6-yard line and delivers quite a boot. Branson going backwards makes the fair catch at the 40-yard line. So pretty good field position for the Rustlers to start this drive. The one positive is, you know, Zach Lewis can orchestrate this offense. He did so against Fullerton College week 1. The bad news is you just don't know how bad Nate Espinoza is hurt. As of right now, he's still sitting on the trainer's table being attended to. And it was his right leg that they were looking at. Looks like they're retaping his leg, so I don't know. Nate may try to give it a go here. We'll see. Here's Lewis, meanwhile. Takes the snap, play fake. Lewis time. Steps up, and he's sacked.
And Lewis is brought down on the sack.
Tavorier Hills.
So
And I tell you, that pocket collapsed in a hurry, Ryan.
Lewis was looking up at David Atencio down that right sideline. However, he was covered by 2 different guys. Both the corner and the free safety came over to cover him. There was no opportunity for him to throw.
Loss of 5 on the sack, 2nd and 15 at the 35-yard line of the Rustlers. They give it to Devin Jackson. Jackson bounces to the outside the numbers at the 40. Devin Jackson is out of bounds at the 42-yard line. So a pickup of 7 there by Devin. Showing a little bit of speed there. He's really a rumbler, a thumper back there in the backfield. But showing a little bit of speed to be able to break it to the outside, Ryan. And brings up a 3rd and 9 here for the Rustlers. Ball far hash mark. From their own 42, Lewis with trips to the left. Lewis, not the escape artist of Espinoza, retreating, back pedals off his back foot, hit as he throws that one out of bounds. But he was under some serious duress there. Julian Salazar tattooed him as he got rid of it along with Bradley Brown. They both met there at the quarterback, and that's the dynamic that you lose with Nate Espinoza over there on the training table. Zach Lewis can sling it a little bit, but not the escape artist that Espinoza is. And right now in the COCD line, gonna be pinning their ears back, trying to get after this Rustler quarterback. 4th down now here. Snap skips to Isaiah Palmer. The rugby-style kick is a good one. Takes a bounce inside the 35 and a Rustler roll inside the 25. And all the way down to about the 22-yard line where Branch is there to recover it. Rustlers will be on a bye next week. They'll start Southern League play with the bell game against OCC. We'll have it for you right here on sportsnetusa.net. That'll be a 1 p.m. kickoff on October the 19th. It'll be the annual bell game. So 7:34 left. Let's see what Eddings can do here on this drive, Ryan. We talked, he's been a little shaky to start this one. Snap taken, belt high, pressure coming. Eddings rolling and throws it on the run. A nice throw, nice catch made over there on the far sideline near the 35-yard line by Trayvon Elliott. The freshman out of Indianapolis making the catch.
And for Eddings, that's probably his best quality. When he gets out of the pocket, how calm he stays, still looking for options up the field.
Yeah, VJ Malo putting heavy pressure on him there, but he's able to escape. And it's a 1st down. 1st and 10, COC at their own 36-yard line. Ball far hash mark. Snap taking belt high, up the slot, has a man and complete. He threw it just short of Zelly Henderson, and he was unable to bring it in. Nice coverage there by the Rustlers. Manuzzi was there on the coverage, also had some help with Aaron Mulugeta. But I tell you, these receivers can fly, Ryan Osborn, and Zelly may be the fastest of the bunch. 2nd and 10. Eddings trying to set up a screen, has his man caught, big hit, Sele Pomasa.
With the big takedown.
Nowhere to go for Haynes as he made that catch. And going to be a loss there on the screen. How about this half Pomasa's having, Ryan?
Yeah, 5 tackles so far in addition to 2 tackles for loss and a sack.
Unreal. Under 6.5 to play. Rustlers 10, COC 7. Eddings looking, oh, big hit. Cheese comes up and makes a big-time hit there at the 45-yard line, but a tremendous job to hold on to that ball by Romello Cook. His first catch of the game, he paid for it. But it's close to the marker, and I think they're going to get a timeout for a measurement here. 1st down marker is at about the 46-yard line of COC. And so he got pretty close, did Cook, but he was tattooed right with a big-time hit there. Timeout for a measurement. This one extremely close. And it's going to be about a couple inches short, says Ed Zapolsky. So we're going to have a 3rd and short coming up. About a couple of inches, says Ed Ford. Maybe about half a foot, you'd say. 6:01 left, 1st quarter. First half, pardon me. Rustlers 10, Cougars 7. Coming up at the half, it'll be the Ryan Osborn and Ed Ford show. 2 wide receivers, heavy personnel in there for COC, and looked like Eddings was stopped short there. He tried the sneak. Wow, he's going to get a favorable spot. Rustlers thought they stopped him, including the entire coaching staff to our right. Looked like they stopped him in his tracks, but whoa, what a generous spot there, Ryan. A tremendously generous spot. They got him crossing the 46-yard line. I'm not sure he even got to the 46-yard line. Incredible. Brings up a first down, so a fresh set of downs here for COC as we approach 5.5 to play here in this second quarter. Rustlers 10, COC 7. A tremendous first half for the Rustlers. COC wouldn't say the same for themselves. And here's Haynes getting the carry right up the gut and has to fight his way for a couple.
Gain of 3.
Up to just shy of midfield, 49-yard line. Picks up 3 there with 5:10 left in the second quarter.
49-yard line.
Harrington, Malu, Stephen Cruz, Moises Ale into the game now. 3-man front for the Rustlers. 3 wide receivers. Eddings, play fake, rolling left, throwing across his body over the middle, pass caught by Zelly Henderson. He was hit immediately from behind, but is able to hold on to the catch, and that's at the 40-yard line of the Rustlers. It looked like that was Cheese once again making the big hit. I'm not sure where they taught him how to hit like that in Switzerland, but he's come over here to the States and a really fine-looking football player. Who knew they played football in Switzerland? I had no idea. I knew they skied. Pretty darn good skiers too, Ryan Osborn. Next year's an Olympic year, if I'm not mistaken. Here's the carry with Haynes on the right side, and he's upended at the 35-yard line. 4:15 to play, and counting. Ball in between the hash marks. Cougars putting together a nice drive here. Selu Cook into the game. Remember a couple weeks ago at West LA, he left with that knee injury that looked pretty bad, but ended up not being as bad as originally thought. Missed last week, back in the lineup today, and he's in there at nose right now. 3-man front for the Rustlers. Eddings takes the snap, looking far side. What a great play there on the boundary by the Rustlers defensively. Tremendous job by J.J. Young. He was locked up one-on-one there on that far side against Elliott. And he went airborne to pick up the PBU. Third and 5 from the Rustler 35-yard line. Ball far hash mark is Eddings, and the entire offense looks over to the near sideline to get the play. Eddings steps up to alert his offensive lineman, now backs pedals. At the 40-yard line, takes the snap, belt high, looking over the middle, has Zelly Henderson on the crossing route, catches it at the 15, breaks the tackle, stutter step, 10-yard line, at the 5, juking and jiving inside the 5 and down at the 1-yard line. Tremendous run after the catch there by Zelly, and it's going to be a 1st and goal from the 1 for COC. Approaching 3.5 to play. You talk about the quicks. These wide receivers, Ryan Osborn.
And it's also a matter of making sure that they don't have the opportunity to break tackles. The wide receivers on the other side for COC have a tremendous escaping ability.
They mark them down at the 2. 1st and goal from the 2. Oh, you fumbled the snap. Ball's on the turf, and oh, nearly recovered by the Rustlers. But it looks like COC got back to it. Haynes able to recover it. Kramer was there. Kramer got shot out of a cannon into the backfield and nearly was able to corral that one in. That it just rolled so funny, Ryan Osborn.
It ended up hitting his chest plate and bouncing away from him as he went to the ground with it.
So this moves them all the way back to the 14-yard line. So a 2nd and goal now from the 14. 2:40 left and ticking here in this first half as Eddings looks over near sideline to get the play. He has Haynes to his right, just 5 seconds left on the play clock. Eddings has to hurry, takes the snap with 2 seconds left. In the pocket with time, pumps, throws over the middle, going airborne, making the catches. Cook spins, dives, reaches into the end zone, and it's a touchdown for COC. So after 10 straight put up by the Rustlers to start this game, COC has answered with 13 straight of their own, and they take their first lead of the afternoon, 13-10 with 2:19 left in this first half. Brown in to attempt the point after. High snap, but the hold is down. The kick by Tanner Brown is up and through.
And Tanner Brown's extra point, that gives the Cougars a 14-10 lead over the Rustlers.
Rahshaun, if you're a Rustler fan watching in, you're actually pretty encouraged as on that far sideline, Nathan Espinoza, or Nate the Great, is he's testing out his leg. He's actually going through running and throwing drills over there.
It looked like they were taping up that right foot or ankle as he was on the trainer's table, and we'll see. I mean, it's so tough when you got a bad will and you use your athleticism like he does. We'll see if he can give it a whirl. But definitely changes things for the Rustlers. And this defensive line is stout for COC. And if Espinoza's not in there, you're asking a lot for your offensive line to try to keep these guys in the white uniforms in front of them, to give Lewis enough time. If you're John Shipp, changes the play calling too. Maybe you got to go with short, quicker timing routes. West Coast offense style, perhaps. Brown to leg into this one. It's a high end-over-end kick, but short. He's human. Ball caught at the 10-yard line, but whoa, flying up the boundary and making the stop there on special teams is College of the Canyons. And that was Jalen Lewis there making the play for COC. Coming up at the half, it'll be the Ryan Osborn and Ed Ford collaboration. About 2 minutes and 15 seconds away from that. Zach Lewis back in there at quarterback. 1st and 10, Rustlers from their own 15. High snap, Lewis stepping up, looking for Armstrong. Has Armstrong diving, but unable to come up with the catch. He had a step on the defensive back there, Jock Vudobradovic, but thrown just a little bit out of the reach there of Adam. We've seen Adam make some highlight catches so far this season. Been quiet the last couple of weeks, or last week, I should say. 2:08 to play here, first quarter. Here's Lewis, looking far sideline, has caught outside the numbers at the 20, turns it upfield, 25-yard line, out of bounds at about the 27. First down for the Rustlers, stops the clock with 2 minutes left in this first half. Ball far hash mark. Lewis operating the hurry-up offense here. Trips to the near side. Ball far hash mark. Lewis takes the snap. Chest high. Steps up. Rolling to his right. Has Hobbs. Hobbs at the 40-yard line. Hobbs with the blocker in front at midfield. Swung around and thrown to the turf out of bounds at the 48-yard line of COC.
From COC's 48-yard line.
25 yards on the pickup. And Rustlers inside COC territory. Clock stops with 1:35 to move the sticks as Lewis looks over to the far sideline to get the play. He has Armstrong and Atencio on this near side. Ball on the far hash mark. 2 receivers to the far side as Lewis takes the snap. With time, looking deep downfield, has Carr, but he underthrew him. Oh, Carr stole it in the air. Wow! He stole it away from the defensive back inside the 10. He's down at the 7-yard line. Are you kidding me? What a grab! 1:23 left in this first half. 1st and 10 inside the 5. They hand it off. No, Lewis keeps it himself, and Lewis inside the 5, down at about the 1-yard line. The Zach Lewis heroics happening here, Ryan Osborn. And we got an injured COC Cougar down on the turf at about the 1. 1:03 to play here in this first half. Rustlers trailing 14-10.
Lewis has done an excellent job of looking at his options and seeing what was open, but you have to go back to that catch. I mean, he takes the ball out of the defensive back's hands.
Oh, my goodness. It would have been a touchdown, but it was thrown a little too short. Carr had to come back, really had to come back and play defensive back, but he said, no, I'm still a receiver, and he just snatched it from him mid-air. Incredible catch. You may not find a better catch all day today. I don't care what level, maybe all weekend. Unbelievable, KC Carr. Tremendous effort there. Rustlers right on the doorstep. 2nd down and goal from inside the 1. The injured Cougar is Vuka Bradovic. He's able to walk off under his own power as both teams are huddled up near their respective sidelines. How about the effort from these Rustlers today, Ryan? Incredible.
What you're seeing from Golden West, this offense, they have these flashes of brilliance where they just look like marching up the field is effortless.
They have had those moments so far here today. VJ Malo in there at a fullback. Devin Jackson, the deep back. Lewis takes the snap. He gets a push from Malo into the end zone. Touchdown, Rustlers.
Gets over the goal line for a Golden West touchdown.
54 seconds left in the half, and the Rustlers go back in front 16-14 on the strength of a Zach Lewis quarterback sneak. Arredondo for the point after. Off the Atencio hold. And the kick is good. Rustlers back in front, 17-14, 54 seconds left in this first half. This is Rustler football right here on SportsNetUSA.net. Rahshaun Haylock, Ryan Osborn, the talented Ed Ford here with you on this first Saturday in October. In case you're just joining us, the Rustlers scored the first 10 points in this one. COC came back and answered 14 straight of their own. And then on the 2-minute drill, executed by backup quarterback Zach Lewis, who's in for the injured Nate Espinoza, who got banged up earlier in this second quarter, engineers a tremendous drive. But a big kudos goes to KC Carr, who made an incredible catch going airborne and stealing what would have been an interception away from a COC defender. Drive capped off by a Lewis quarterback sneak. And that is where we stand right now. Rustlers 17, Cougars 14, 54 seconds left. As Casper will put it on the tee and will be kicking this one left to right. Or right to left, I beg your pardon. Give me a break, Ryan. I don't know my right from my left. I'm sorry. It'll be Gilmore and Howard back deep to receive. This one goes over the head of Gilmore, bounces on the tee in Golden West, and out of the back of the end zone, where it'll be a touchback. It'll be 1st and 10 COC from their own 25-yard line. Got Ed Ford and Ryan Osborn coming up at the half. Don't want to miss that.
COC will take over possession on their own 25-yard line.
Eddings out of the gun. He's got Dunn to his right. Trips to his left. Ball in between the hash marks at the 25-yard line. Takes the snap knee high. Eddings looking near side, has a receiver caught inside the 35-yard line and out of bounds at about the 38. Catch made there by Elliott. And so clearly this COC offense not backing down. They're going to try to maybe even this thing up, if not take the lead here before we reach intermission, Ryan. 1st down and 10 from the 38-yard line of the Cougars. Eddings, pump fakes, delivers over the middle, too tall and almost hauled in, but a nice hit there by Isaiah Palmer to dislodge the ball away from the intended wide receiver Longstreth over the middle. Trey Longstreth, the freshman out of Modesto, had it in his hands. Lost it, nearly regained it again, but Palmer's hit forced the incompletion. 42 seconds left. 2nd and 10, COC at their own 38-yard line. Eddings takes the snap, steps up in the pocket, looks in, up underneath, has a man caught at the 40-yard line. So it's going to be a couple of yards there on the pickup from Eddings to Williams.
It'll be 3rd and 9 from the Cougars' 41-yard line.
35 seconds left. Cougars will have a 3rd and long here. 3rd and 9. Snap taken chest high. VJ Malo applying the pressure. Eddings escapes. Eddings now, this is where he's dangerous across midfield. Makes a nice little cut there going right, and then he gets out of bounds at the 45-yard line of the Rustlers. And you almost would rather just not rush him there, right? Like, just give him all the time he needs. He's able to pick up the 1st down and more as he gets it inside of Rustler territory. 15-yard pickup. And a timeout taken by the Rustlers. You commend Malo there for the effort, but it's tough. You got a athletic quarterback like that who can outrun everybody on this field. That pressure came from the backside, but there was no pressure on that front side. So Eddings able to take advantage. First timeout taken by the Rustlers. So they have 2. COC has 2. We have 25 seconds left in this first half. Rustlers 17, COC 14. What are you thinking here, Ryan, for these Rustlers? Do you dare bring pressure? If you bring pressure, you gotta come with it though, right?
I think it's more of what you talked about earlier. You're trying to contain him in the pocket. It's a matter of allowing the receivers to finish out their routes, making sure that he just feels uncomfortable in the pocket, but don't allow him to get out past the hash marks.
Ball at the Rustler 45-yard line. Far hash mark. Williams goes in motion from right to left. Snap taken knee high. Eddings escapes pressure once again, rolling near side to his right, and he's just going to get out of bounds at the 49-yard line of COC. So he loses 6 there. But it stops the clock with 16 seconds left.
And it's a great job by the secondary, sticking with all the receivers, not allowing him to get a clean look downfield.
And you see some frustration on this offensive line of the Cougars here. We can actually hear some barking between them up here from our vantage point in the press box, Ryan. Not happy with what's going on. Ball near hash mark, trips to this near side, which is the right side. And we got some movement. No flag. Wow, finally a flag comes in. The right guard, Marcosian, moved and showed his frustration, threw both hands in the air. No flag came in, and then finally the flag came in. So that's a loss of another 5. So this moves COC back to the 44-yard line in their own zone. So a 3rd down and forever here. Third and 22. Rustlers allowed Bakersfield to convert a 3rd and 23 last week late in the 4th quarter. Here's Eddings, all kind of time over the middle. Oh, nearly picked off. Saval had it, and then it went off the arms of Earl. Ball hits the turf regardless, and so that brings up 3rd down. Saval had it. He had it, Ryan. That would have been huge. I think he was looking upfield. Saw some of that green, maybe trying to figure out how he can get into that end zone. Instead, 9 seconds left. 3rd and 22. Eddings rolling left, steps up, looking near sideline. Earl with the interception at the 20-yard line inside Golden West territory. And with 2 seconds left, the Rustler offense will come back onto the field to an ovation from this home crowd.
And for the Rustlers, you're even okay with just kneeing it here because you're going to get the ball coming into the second half.
Absolutely. They deferred the opening kickoff, but got the first possession of the game because it was a turnover.
Rustlers will take over possession on the 29-yard line with 2.2 seconds to go.
So Lewis will line up under center, takes the snap, takes a knee. And that will take us to the end of the first half.
That will conclude the first half
So after 1 half of play here in Surf City,
of play.
it's Golden West 17, COC 14. This is Rustler football right here on SportsNetUSA.net. I don't know if you could have asked for a better half of play from your team if you're Nick Mitchell, Ryan Osborn.
No, especially the start. I mean, you look at the first 10 minutes, Golden West was all over top of Canyons. You started off with that special teams victory, essentially, where that ball goes off the up back and you convert it into 7. Then you have a long drive downfield which ends up in a field goal. Yeah, you give up 14 unanswered points at the end of the first going into the second. But overall, Golden West has actually looked pretty decent in this game, especially their offense. They only sputtered on 1 drive, maybe 1.5 drives in total. Everything else, they've actually been able to manufacture first downs.
So we've reached the half here. We'll step aside. Ryan Osborn and Ed Ford will take you through the half right here on SportsNetUSA.net. At the half, it's Golden West 17, COC 14. This is Golden West Rustler football right here on SportsNetUSA.net. Unbelievable. I was just talking to Daniel, Nate Espinoza, Nate the Great's stepdad, and he was kind enough to come up here and to say some nice things about us as listener of the broadcast. So I appreciate him for his kind words. That was nice of him to share some time and come up here and speak with us. Rustlers will receive the second half kickoff. Remember, they won the toss and elected to defer, but ended up having the first possession regardless because they forced a turnover on the opening kickoff. And so now they'll receive the opening kickoff here in the second half and hope to be able to add to this 3-point lead. This one carries into the end zone, and Jones is going to run it out. All right, here we go, 10-yard line. Jones outside the numbers at the 20. Jones on that far side at the 30, outside the numbers, lowers his shoulder at the 40-yard line. And out of bounds, just shy of the 45. So you think the Rustlers were a little pumped up inside that locker room at halftime? No, let up, keeping the foot on the gas. Jones sending a message with that kickoff return there.
Also, give credit to his blockers as they move upfield. You had 4 different blocks that were set down that left sideline inside of the hash mark, and nobody ended up getting flagged for holding. He was just straight up blocking down the field, gave him a lane to move through.
So no Espinoza. It's Lewis in there to start this second half. Takes the snap, chest high, delivers far side. Carr turns it up the field at midfield on his feet and finally down at the 46-yard line of COC. A first down for the Rustlers. I tell you what, in this backup row, Lewis has embraced it and looked pretty good. First and 10 from the COC 46. Turns around, hands it off to the big fella Jackson, but he's swallowed up by a whole bunch of other big fellas.
That's Jones on the carry.
So Devin Jackson stays in the game in the backfield after getting that last carry for no gain. Second down and 10 from the COC 46. Fumble on the exchange, and Lewis falls on top of it. We saw some ball handling issues last week, One actually burnt the Rustlers early in that game up in Bakersfield. And this time Lewis able to fall on top of it. But it brings up a 3rd and about 12. So back-to-back, less than stellar plays, Ryan Osborn. These kind of things that can be drive killers. 3rd and 12, here's the snap. Lewis delivers, has Carr, got one hand on it, but it falls incomplete, and Russell's gonna be forced to punt. So a drive that started with so much promise, Ryan, so much promise.
And on that last throw by Lewis, it looked like Carr actually slipped prior to that ball being let go. So the throw was in stride if Carr was still on his feet.
So Canyons actually has 2 guys back to receive this punt from Palmer. And everybody gets away from it. It's a short punt, and it's actually going to take a COC roll back across the 35, and it'll be downed at about the 37-yard line. Oh boy. 13:09 to play, 3rd quarter.
And on a rugby-style kick, your emphasis is trying to get the top half of the ball. Still making contact, but getting the top half. That's what produces the roll. On that one, he ends up hitting the ball right down the middle on the laces. So it pops the ball up, and that's what brings that backwards bounce.
So here's Edens back to work for the first time in this half. He hands it off to Dunn, who tries the left side. Sele Pamasa and a host of green there to meet him. Branch in there helping on the stop, along with Jonathan Earl. Jalen Harrington in there as well, as Dunn picks up a couple. And be on the lookout for Cyrus Zwell. Have not seen him yet, but he's been kind of the bona fide closer the last few weeks for this COC team at a tailback. They play fake. Edding's going to roll to his right, throws that way over the head of one target, but finds another at midfield. And that one caught there by Elliott. That one went over the head. Ooh, it looked like that was Stanley, the tight end there. Went over his head, and he jumped for it. But it ends up in the hands of Elliott. So right at midfield, it'll be 1st down and 10 COC out of the pistol. 2 wide receivers. Edens takes the snap, turns around, hands it to Dunn. Dunn with one of his best runs of the afternoon. A nice little burst up the gut for 5. And down at the 45-yard line inside of Golden West territory. Jose Orredondo in there on that defensive line, along with VJ Malo and Jalen Harrington, 3-man front for the Rustlers. Low snap, Eddings looking, that one deflected off the hands of Henderson, the intended wide receiver. Branch was there to meet him immediately as soon as the ball got there. And it brings up a 3rd down and 5. Rustlers led the first half, 242 total yards to 157 for COC. More rush yards, 80 to 30, and more pass yards, 162 to 167. Stellar first half for the Rustlers. Can they keep it up here in the second? Snap taken, belt high. Eddings with time, looking over the middle, has his man, and it's dropped. They say incomplete. That was Henderson once again, and so, it looked like a Rustler was there to separate it, Ryan?
Yeah, it was Reich. He got there and smacked the ball straight down, so it popped back into his arms, but by that point, it's an incomplete pass.
So Cheese making plays here today for the Rustlers, as he's done throughout the course of this season. Tanner Branson will go back and stand on his own 10. Tanner Brown will be kicking it to him. He's standing on his own 40 to receive the long snap.
On the Rustlers' 10-yard line.
And Brown has a boot. Brown, a directional kick, high end over end kick, fair catch called for and made at the 10-yard line, but this one may be coming back. Looked like the Rustlers jumped on a punt.
Encroachment, defense, number 29. 5-yard penalty.
So they get Manuzzi with the encroachment. All they needed was 5, and so that 5-yard penalty results into a first down for COC, a fresh set of downs here, as they'll start at 1st and 10 from the 40-yard line of Golden West. And those are the miscues, Ryan Osborn. But you can't have pretty clean games so far. Each team in the first half had 3 penalties apiece. 3 receivers to the near side, ball far hash mark for Eddings, who's standing on his own 45-yard line. He has Dunn to his left, takes the snap, delivers it in the flat, has his man a nice spin move at the 40 and a nice little run after catch to get a couple there as that pass was caught in the backfield by Amari Smith. And he's able to get it up to the 36-yard line.
Smith with a positive gain.
So pick up a 4 there. Looked like that one could have been gone for a loss. Rustlers were there defensively, but that spin move by Smith allowed him to get a few yards. Here's Dunn on the left side, goes off left guard and runs right into Sean Branch, who hits him right in the waist and gets him down to the turf just shy of the 30-yard line at the 32. So 4-yard gain there. We're looking at a 3rd down and 2 now for COC.
Setting up a 3rd and 2.
Too wide. Here's Dunn, starts in the middle now, comes outside the numbers, Dunn with space at the 10, at the 5, end zone. Touchdown, COC. Caden Dunn with the 32-yard touchdown run. And Cougars back in front. We talk about the miscues, Ryan. Second time today a costly miscue has led to points for COC.
But exceptional breakaway speed there by Dunn. As he gets over towards that left-hand side, all he needed was the outside block, and he was gone down the sideline. But you mentioned it. It all goes back to that 3rd down and 5. Offsides by Golden West gets them a first down, and COC capitalizes.
Brown for the point after. And it's good. So 21-17, Canyons back in front. 10-12 to play here in the 3rd quarter. This is Rustler football right here on SportsNetUSA.net. Nice burst there by Dunn. He started inside and busted back to the outside, and he had some space on this near boundary and found daylight. So it's Jones and Morant back deep to receive. And it'll be Stephen Jones once again standing on the D in Golden West inside the end zone. He'll bring it out, and Jones on that far sideline once again outside the numbers at the 20, showing a nice burst here on special teams in this second half, getting a couple chances and taking advantage of them as he's out of bounds at the 20, and it'll be a first down for the Rustlers, 1st and 10 from their own 20.
On the 20-yard line.
An update for those of you listening in at halftime as Ed Ford and I went through some scores. San Mateo 21, Modesto 12 with 9:42 left in the 3rd. Battle of the number 2 and 3 teams in the state.
New quarterback, Richard Wagner, in for the first time today. He takes the snap, hands it out, keeps it himself actually.
Richard
Fakes the handoff to Moran, and Wagner off the left side across the 20-yard line.
Short game.
So he picks up 2 there, brings up a 2nd down and 8.
2nd and 8 for the Rustlers.
Wagner, the bounce back from Cornell, played his college or his high school ball at Santa Margarita, and trying to escape here, and he gets sacked. Holding on to the ball for ages, and call that one a coverage sack, Ryan Osborn. Officially, it's Jack Schultz who gets credit for it, the sophomore out of Granada Hills.
Not only did he hold on to the ball, but he had to switch hands to avoid getting that ball getting taken away from him. Defensive line was coming in there trying to knock it away.
No sign of Nate Espinoza. He is on that sideline, and he's got ice now on that right foot. As Wagner takes the 3rd down snap, and over the middle was passes deflected at the line of scrimmage. He was looking for Hobbs. It's a quick 3 and out for this Rustler offense. So now you look at the Rustler D, Ryan Osborn.
Cougars defense forces a 4 and out. 3 and out.
And an opportunity right here for them presents itself where they'll be called on to make some huge plays. As likely supreme field position here for COC once they receive this one. Branson standing on his own goal line. Inside the hash marks, takes the snap, and a booming punt. And that one goes over the head of Smith, takes it off a bounce, and he's tattooed back at the 35-yard line. Who else? The cheesiest, Alex Reich on special teams. And Cheese having himself an afternoon. And you needed Branson to put a leg into one there if you're the Rustlers, and he certainly did. So Eddings goes back to work with an empty set. Ball at the 35-yard line of COC. Going right to left here. Eddings, pocket collapse. He escapes 2 Rustlers. Wow, throws it on the run. Has Smith near midfield and incomplete.
Eddie looking for Smith.
How did they miss him there, Ryan?
Pass is incomplete.
It's a matter of tackling location. As both of those 2 guys, one of them being VJ Malo, get into the backfield, they both go for shoulder pads rather than trying to wrap him up and take him to the ground.
8:27 left, 3rd quarter. Quick pass to Zelly Henderson. He catches it right there in the flat.
Henderson on the short game.
And he gets up to about the 38-yard line, so a pickup of 3. He can catch that pass, Ryan Osborn, and go. So you got to be mindful of these little quick passes to Zelly. As we mentioned it earlier, all these wide receivers for COC can run, but he might be the fastest of the bunch. Caden Dunn back in. First time on this drive. His touchdown put COC in front. Here's the 3rd down. Eddings escapes. Eddings rolling to his left. He's going to get the 1st down and more.
Scrambles, and that's good enough.
He's able to escape the grasp of Reich there, who had him shy of the 1st down marker. But Eddings slippery there, gets it across the 45 to the 46. Rustlers changing some personnel defensively. Ale and Cruz on the ends. Lau Matia, the big man in the middle on that 3-man front. Snap taken, belt high. Reich had Eddings, he gets away, throws it over the head of Amari Smith, who is streaking down the middle of the field, wide open. Huge break there for the Rustlers.
Smith's initial route was just to go 5 yards and go right back down the middle of the field. He ends up improvising and then streaking straight up. Just couldn't land in his hands.
You see them trying to go a little tempo here, Ryan. Second down and 10 from their own 46, ball near hash mark. One receiver split to the left of the formation. The handoff goes to Dunn off left side. Dunn with the burst. Dunn running stronger here in this second half across the 40-yard line and out of bounds inside Golden West territory. He picks up 12 and another first down here for COC. And some tempo here from COC. They go back to Dunn one more time off left guard. Dunn hitting the knees and upended at about the 30-yard line. The tackle made there by Jonathan Earl.
Illegal substitution on the
So they get the Rustlers here with an illegal substitution. So the officials conferring here. It's going to be a 5-yard penalty against Golden West. Call for an illegal substitution inside the 25-yard line. So be placed at the 23. And that's going to be a new set of downs here for COC. So first and 10 from the Rustler 23. Golden West defense on its heels here. Play fake. Looking far side, pass caught. Amari Smith running between Rustler defenders inside the 10 and tackled from behind at about the 9-yard line. Stop made by Pablo Araya. 6:50 left in this third quarter. 21-17 Canyons looking to increase this lead here. And they hand it off on the right side. It's Haynes. It's Haynes across the 10 and about the 8-yard line.
Number 92, Anthony Garcia on the tackle.
Give the tackle to Anthony Garcia, under 6.5 to play. Third quarter, play fake. Eddings looking over the middle, deflected by Branch, but they're going to get a pass interference. They say he got Smith around the waist. That's going to be brand new downs here for the Rustlers. Ryan Osborn.
And immediately COC brings in that jumbo package that we've seen 3 times this afternoon. And every time that Golden West looks decent on defense in terms of stopping Canyon's momentum, it's been that defensive penalty that has come back to haunt them.
So spot a foul penalty. Eddings, the jumbo package, but he's out of the pistol. Takes the snap, hands it off to Haynes, who's hit in the backfield. So Rustler defense got there. VJ Malo quickly into the backfield. But Kramer was there also, picking himself up off the bottom of that pile. Two wide receivers. They go with the big set once again. Eddings going to keep it himself, fakes the handoff, goes to the left side, inside the hash mark and inside the end zone. A touchdown for COC. And the Cougars now with its largest lead of the afternoon. Up by 10 here with 5:48 to play. Brown in for the point after. Snap is high, but it's down, and the kick by Brown is up. And it goes on to McFadden and across the street. It went over the protective netting behind the goalpost. And it's a 28-17 lead here for COC. Rustlers, Ryan, got to find some answers here on the offensive end. We saw Richard Wagner come in as he replaced Lewis. In case you're just joining us, Nate Espinoza was knocked out of this game in the second quarter with what appears to be a foot injury. We saw him warming up earlier, thought maybe he'd be able to return to this game, but he has not. And since then, we've seen them put ice on that right foot. Anytime they do that, you gotta imagine that the day may be done. So Tanner Brown will put it on the tee. It's a high kick. Jones runs underneath it and catches it at the 1 yard line. In between the hash marks, Jones puts his head down in between the wedge, across the 20 and down at the 24 yard line. While we have a moment, let us remind you, Rustler football right here on sportsnetusa.net, brought to you in part by Miller Toyota of Anaheim, where service and parts is available for your convenience 7 days a week. Located at the 91 and Euclid and on the web at MillerToyotaofAnaheim.com. Miller Toyota of Anaheim supports community college sports and education. Richard Wagner led a 3-and-out in his first drive of this game, the last possession for the Rustlers. He's back out there to lead the offense. Play fake over the middle, pass caught at the 30-yard line. A speed burst through that second level across the 40 and just shy of the 45-yard line, and down at the 45-yard line actually is where they mark it, David Atencio. So a 22-yard pickup there for Atencio. That's the first completion for Wagner. It's 5:22 left in this third quarter. Wagner, the third Rustler quarterback we've seen today, takes the snap, belt high, finds Morant on the left side, and Morant tries to fall forward near midfield. Tajay Morant at about the 49-yard line. Second down and 6 for the Rustlers as they're inching towards COC territory. Wagner with trips to the right. Ball far hash mark, which is the left. He goes upstairs to get that snap, hands it off to Morant, who tries to find the edge, but I don't think he gets to the boundary. He may have picked up a couple inches to midfield, but that's it. As he was strung out by that COC defense, brings up a third down and 5 from midfield. Third and 5, Wagner takes the snap, now tries to get outside of the pocket, rolling to his right, going to tuck it and run right at the sticks. He sneaks inside of the sticks and out of bounds. Inside the COC territory at the Cougar 45-yard line. So a nice job by the Cornell transfer to pick up a first down, and a little positivity for him on this drive after going 3-and-out on the last one. Under 4 to play here in this third quarter. 28-17 COC with the lead. It's been a back and forth type of affair here at Rustler Field. Twin wide receivers, ball near hash mark for Wagner. Takes the snap chest high. Looking far side, throws it up in the air and picked off.
Wagner going deep, and that ball is intercepted.
It's the cornerback, Edwards Morgan. Fell to the turf as he caught that one. Not sure who Wagner was looking for there. But Edwards Morgan in perfect position to intercept that pass, and here comes Eddings and the COC offense back to work. They'll take over first down and 10 at their own 14-yard line, going right to left here in this third quarter. Eddings, play fake, looking near side, has a man caught at the 20-yard line, and he's going to be wrestled to the turf by a host of green uniforms. That was Howard there, the freshman out of Miami, making the grab.
The reception is good enough for a 7-yard gain. 2nd and 3 for the Cougars.
Eddings with 3 wide, hands it off to Dunn. A big hole on the left side. Dunn right through it at the 30-yard line, but he's going to be pushed backwards by Sayo Almore and Jordan Chambers.
Dunn with the first down.
Enough for the first down, however, at the 30. 2:50 left. Ball near hash mark, 1st and 10, Cougars from their own 30. They give it to Dunn one more time. He tries the left side and breaks back towards the middle. Falls across the 35 and down there.
Positive gain for Dunn.
Another 5 yards for Dunn. Maybe you can call him a slow starter, Ryan Osborn, but he certainly changed things up here in this second half. He's been a game changer as we near the 2-minute mark. Dunn with the carry once again, right up the middle, runs right into Chambers and company, but a huge healthy gain once again near the 45-yard line, and enough for another first down as he picks up 10 there as we're under 2 to play here in this third quarter.
10-yard pickup will take the Cougars to midfield.
Moises Haynes now in the backfield as Dunn gets a rest. He's been running hard here in this second half. Here's Haynes now. He'll get the carry, and he'll try the middle, but nothing doing that time as VJ Malo is the first to get to him. Almore came in there to clean it up along with Araya. He may have gotten 2 there on that carry as it's 1:17 left. Ball at the 47-yard line. All the skilled players look over to this near sideline. Eddings steps up towards the line of scrimmage to alert his offensive line of the play. Backpedals now and parks right at the 44-yard line. Hands it off right now to Haynes right up the middle, and Haynes is able to get it across midfield. Stop made on the play there by Saval at the 49-yard line of Golden West. It brings up a 3rd down and about 4. As we're under 45 ticks left in this third quarter, 28-17 COC. Canyons in a hurry, play fake. Eddings dancing in the backfield, escapes one, throws off his back foot and out of bounds as he just threw that one away. He's been as slippery as a stick of butter, Ryan Osborn.
Every single time that Golden West is inside the backfield, all he does is just turn to his left, and he rotates out of the arms of the defensive line.
So enter the punting unit as the Rustlers able to force a stop there, but to save themselves, they can't get Eddings down to the turf in the backfield. 31 and 9/10 left.
4th down. Brown is set to punt. Number 80, Tanner Branson, set to return for the Rustlers.
Branson standing back at his own 12-yard line. Tanner will be punting to Tanner. Brown puts boot to ball. Branson retreating to his left, has that one bounce in front of him at the 10, and it takes a Rustler bounce into the back of the end zone, and so it'll be a touchback, and they will have it 1st and 10. Rustler scored 10 straight to start this game. Canyons came back with 14 straight of their own. Rustlers then regain the lead, 17-14. And in this third quarter, Canyon's back on top. 21-17 on a done run. And they lead it now 28-17. Lewis back in there at quarterback. 1st and 10 from the 25. He hands it off, and Jackson finds the outside. He was able to dodge one diving Canyon defender at the 30-yard line. He gets out of bounds at they mark him out officially at the 28. As we're under 5 seconds left, and that'll take us to the end of this quarter. So at the end of 3.
Final play of the third quarter.
Canyons 28, Rustlers 17. This is Golden West Rustler football right here on SportsNetUSA.net. Rahshaun Haylock alongside Ryan Osborn, Ed Ford, doing Ed Ford things. And what do you say, Ryan? I mean, a lot of time left in this one, but Rustlers got to find something offensively.
Yeah, and when you look at the way that this offense has gone, the end of the first half was sensational for the offense. They were able to just slice right through College of the Canyons defense. However, here in the third quarter, it just seemed like everything they did was overthought. As they were trying to look downfield, they overthought where the receivers were going to be. The quarterbacks, both Wagner and Lewis, both looked at open opportunities and weren't able to connect with them. If you're looking at this fourth quarter for Golden West, I think the best way to be able to get yourself back into this game is through David Atencio. David Atencio, in the receptions that he has looked sensational. He has been able to get himself up the field in the slot. You saw in, we'll say about the middle part of the third quarter, where Atencio lined up right next to the left hash mark, and it was just a quick screen pass, and yet he was able to move up the field by 20, 25 yards. 2 separate plays, and Atencio was terrific. If they can get Atencio back into this ballgame, it's really going to help out this offense.
He's a playmaker. David Atencio is certainly a playmaker for
Offense, number 67. 5-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
Atencio, definitely a playmaker for this offense, but we've got some movement up front for the Rustlers. It's going to be a false start against Julian Portanash.
Quick update from up north. San Mateo 35, Modesto 12, middle part of the third.
Here's Lewis out of the gun. Over the middle, Atencio had it but couldn't haul it in. Goes right off of his fingertips at the 30-yard line and hits the turf. And brings up a 3rd down. Lewis takes the snap, ball far hash mark. Lewis rolling, throws it up in the air for grabs, and is picked off at the 32-yard line by Canyons. Falling backwards and corralling that football is the linebacker, Charles Ike. And the second turnover of this half for the Rustlers. Comes deep in their own zone, and things not looking good for the Rustlers here, Ryan.
Not at all. And for Golden West, that's a pass that you just can't see actually being released. He's on his back foot. He's throwing it into an area. Wasn't really sure where the receiver was. In that case, you're just looking to throw that ball away. You're already outside the tackle box. Just get that out of bounds and live for another down.
So Eddings with a short field to work with will take the snap. Belt high, far hash mark, rolling on his right, throwing up the boundary near side. Howard, incomplete. It was broken up by Alex Reich. He's been everywhere this afternoon. In the backfield, making plays deep in the secondary and dislodging that one there from Howard. It brings up a 2nd down and 10. How about the play? I mean, he has been phenomenal today, Ryan Osborn. Can't stop calling his name. Cheese, 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 cheese.
And it's his positioning and awareness. He's able to anticipate plays so well in the backfield for them.
14:40 left in this fourth quarter, and at the snap we get a whistle, and it comes from the umpire.
Number 57 on the offense. 5-yard penalty, remaining second down.
They get the right guard again, Marcosian, sophomore out of Hoover High School for a fall start. So that brings up a second down and 15. Boy, do the Rustlers ever need a turnover here. Sidearm pass in the flat to Smith. Smith can run, breaks one tackle. Smith with a crease. Amari Smith, there he goes. Dives for the end zone. Touchdown, Cougars.
You said it earlier, Rahshaun. They have that breakaway speed, and we have to be careful with them in the flat. That's exactly what happens.
Lightning fast, Amari Smith. On a little pass in the flat, takes it 36 to the house. And all of a sudden, the Rustlers getting doubled up here. 34-17 our score. Getting outscored 20-0 here so far in this second half. Brown's extra point is good. And our score is now 35-17 COC. As this one has kind of gotten away from the Rustlers rather quickly here, Ryan Osborn.
It's all been a matter of momentum. Every time that Golden West has had the momentum on defense, Rahshaun, we see a flag come in. We saw the offsides. We saw the defensive holding earlier. We saw the one pass interference inside of the 10-yard line. Every time they go to hold them, a flag comes out, and they've shot themselves in their foot. There's not much you can do in that case if you're looking at Golden West. If you can't play discipline on the defensive side of the football, it's going to be really hard to be able to keep College of the Canyons out of the end zone.
A couple of ill-advised throws by the quarterbacks, Richard Wagner, and this most recent one, which led to this last touchdown for the Cougars by Zach Lewis on the Rustlers' last possession. So he kind of just threw it up for grabs. Charles Ike came down with it. Here's Brown on the kickoff. High end over end kick, and it's going to go out of bounds. And that will be a penalty against COC. Rustlers will head into the bye, as will these Cougars.
Legal procedure on the kicking team. Ball kicked out of bounds. Ball in place at the 35-yard line. First down.
Rustlers will have it 1st and 10 at the 35. Golden West back in action October 19th here against OCC. It'll be the Battle of the Bell game and also the Southern Conference opener. High snap, Wagner takes it, hands it off to Jackson up the middle. He lowered his shoulder and defender got low and drug him down with him. Jonathan Thomas, leading tackler on this team, making that stop there. 2nd down and 5. Wagner hands it off Jackson again. This time he's hitting the backfield, and this time it's Thomas once again.
Jackson cut down in the backfield.
Thomas, the freshman out of Chaminade High School. You know anything about Chaminade out in West Hills, the academic demands there, very, very, very rigorous. Not for the faint of heart academically. That school, they liken it to Stanford-esque in the CIF Southern section from an academic standpoint. That along with Harvard-Westlake, as this pass by Wagner is incomplete, goes in and out of the hands of Jeremiah Wright. Tried to get that into his body, Ryan Osborn, instead of catching it with his hands. hit his shoulder pads, hit the turf,
Right, the intended
and the punting unit will hit the field here for the Rustlers. 13-19 left in this one. And Rustlers find themselves down 35-17 in a game they led 17-14 at the half. It's been a second half just dominated by COC. And Ryan, if you remember last year, it's nearly an identical story. It's a low line drive punt, takes a Rustler roll at the 40, but can't stay in bounds, however, so it dribbles out at about the 35, 36-yard line. Remember, Rustlers played that dynamic first half, and all of a sudden, the second half came and the floodgates opened, and a win for COC up in the Santa Clarita Valley.
And last year, it was the turnovers that killed Golden West in the second half. College of the Canyons was able to force 3 different turnovers in the second half, and Golden West couldn't keep up with their offense, getting so many chances.
Looks like we got a new quarterback in here for Canyons, and we do. First, here's the handoff off this right side. The give goes to Cartilius McFadden, the sophomore out of Latta, South Carolina. New quarterback in the game is Michael Wilson, sophomore out of Woodbridge, Virginia, 6'3", 205 pounds. And Wilson, so far on this season, just 3 pass attempts. Pardon me, 2 pass attempts. He's completed both of his passes this season, Ryan Osborn. Both have been for touchdowns. If this were baseball slugging percentage, it had to be like through the moon, right? He keeps it this time right up the middle, and the stop made by Garcia as he picks up maybe 1 there just shy of the 40-yard line. Yeah, it's October. I'm feeling the postseason, Ryan.
Your math is right online, too.
Hey, you know, wasn't my strong point in school. And I can't sit up here and lie to you and say it's a strong point now.
39-yard line.
But I just kind of pulled that one out of the stars knowing that you would correct me. Under 12 to play. 35-17, Cougars with the ball and the lead. Play fake, Wilson rolling to his left. Wilson with it, looking downfield, has a man just shy of midfield. Branch there on the coverage, but the catch there is made by the tight end, Stanley. 6'4", 225-pound sophomore out of Crespi High School out in the San Fernando Valley. Encino, to be exact. You're kind of scratching your head, Ryan. Like, how did this one get away? Three-man front for the Rustlers. Wilson takes the snap, pump fakes, ball is loose. Ball is raked away and recovered. Moises Ale with the strip, the sack, and the fumble recovery. Moses Ale. 11-14 to play here. Maybe that's could be a little bit of a boost here for these Rustlers, Ryan Osborn.
That's exactly what they need here. I mean, you're down by 2 scores. You need to be able to convert on this drive, though. You can't afford to let this one go away. If you're Golden West, maybe take a shot here with Nathaniel Espinoza.
And look who's back in the game. Nate the Great Espinoza returns with 11-14 to play in this one. He left the game in the first half with a foot injury. Back out there to lead these Rustlers offensively. Takes the snap in between the tackles, hands it off to Morant, and Morant runs into a bevy of Cougars. Right as he gets to the line of scrimmage. It's those big fellas up front once again for COC. Led by Lloyd Walker the fourth and also Kendrick Hills. That's Walker the fourth out of Auburn, Washington, and Hills out of New Orleans. Meeting there at Morant. 2-yard pickup, 2nd down and 8 coming up. Here's Espinoza. With time, Espinoza trying to escape, and he just throws it away, and you can see right away. The escapability not there. He gave it a try to scramble and just unable to muster the giddy up there, and immediately he comes off the field, and Zach Lewis quickly back in to replace him. The escapability, the mobility not there for Espinoza. And so his return is short-lived as Lewis is back in on this 3rd down and 8. From the COC 35, here's Lewis stepping up in the pocket. Lewis throwing on the run, middle of the field. Pass is nearly hauled in there by Armstrong, but it was dislodged there. Nice play there defensively by the Cougars. And it brings up a 4th down. And the offense staying on the field. Now you got to at this point, right, Ryan?
Absolutely. And if I'm the offense for Golden West, I'm looking for David Atencio at the sticks.
I'd say you're a smart man for wanting to do so, Ryan Osborn. Because I tell you what, I'm looking for him too. 7 is lined up in the slot. On the far side, pressure coming. Lewis is eaten up in the backfield. Right near midfield, he's sacked. Thomas there making the sack. And has he come alive here these last couple of drives? Turnover on downs for the Cougars. They mark Lewis down officially back at the 46-yard line of COC. So that tremendous play by Ale goes for naught as the Rustlers quickly turn it back over on downs. Wilson stays in there at quarterback. He hands it off. McFadden once again hurdling the defender to the 49-yard line where he's met by J.J. Barajas just inside the numbers. Under 10 to play. (35-17). COC with the ball in the lead. 2nd down and 6 at midfield. Wilson runs, adjusts his helmet in the process. Wilson still with it outside at the 40-yard line, where he's down there just inside the 40. It's going to be enough for a 1st down for COC. As the sticks move once again, 9.5 to play here in this one. Remember last year, Ryan, I thought, I don't know what you thought. Probably disagree. We didn't agree on everything. COC was the best team I saw all year last season. They got tripped up, didn't really go as far as perhaps a lot of people thought they would. But a different team this season. But still that explosiveness on the outside as McFadden gets the carry once again up to the 35-yard line. 8:50 left. And we've got an injured Rustler down, and that appears to be, it is Jalen Harrington.
And I think going back to your statement, Rahshaun, College of the Canyons and Riverside were the 2 teams that impressed us the most watching Golden West all season. And when you look at College of the Canyons last year, they were ranked number 2 in the entire nation when they ended up going into the playoffs. They just weren't able to make it past Ventura, plain and simple. And once they got that matchup against Ventura, their offense went cold, their defense couldn't stop the Pirates, and Ventura scored at will. And all of a sudden what turned into, or what was one of the best seasons in College of the Canyon history, turned into a slight disappointment.
Which was surprising because if you remember the squad from a year ago, that defense was dynamic. I mean, they had guys all over the place, running to the ball. And
top 5 in the state in takeaways.
Yeah, and at the time when the Rustlers went up there to face them, they were giving up only 7.5 points a game. But every year, every team has maybe that one game, you know, you kind of hope to avoid. Or maybe if you do have that game, you hope possibly that you can overcome it. by making a couple of plays. That just wasn't to be the case there. And it's hard. Winning in community college football is one of the hardest things to do in all the sports because the margin for error is so slim. As Jalen Harrington, this isn't a good sign, needs to be helped off the field. VJ Malo and Jamie Asiata giving him a hand. But Harrington not putting any pressure on. Actually, none of his feet are touching the ground. They're literally carrying him off the field as he's being lifted in a sitting position. Remember last year he got off to that hot start and then had to miss a good portion of the season after suffering that torn pec injury. And you'd hate for this to be anything significant. 8:33 left. And they go to the ground one more time. They try the right side with McFadden again. And he picks up 5. And it brings up a 3rd down. This is the first road game of the season for this COC team. And we're almost at the bye. They had a road game scheduled in Santa Barbara, but Santa Barbara had some facilities issues, so COC actually played a road game at home on a Sunday a couple of weeks ago. Today, the first day, they actually had to get on a bus. Not the first time they're wearing the white uniforms, however, as McFadden comes on the outside, and you're going to get a flag here on the play against College of the Canyons. And they're emphasizing that this year, Ryan. It was Romello Cook with the crackback block. No more. You can't do that anymore.
It's to protect the health and safety of the players.
Yeah.
If you end up going too low, it could jeopardize a person's season. And, I mean, if you're actually looking at it big picture-wise, a person's future as well. Because you see a lot of these guys transfer to D1, D2, D3, NAIA schools, and they keep their careers going and their education going as well. So by eliminating that crackback block, you're helping these players' safety and futures the rest of the way.
And now in those blind side blocks, even if you're not behind a guy, even if you just hit him on the side, those are a no-no nowadays. 7.5 left as Wilson looks over to this near sideline. Seilu Cook in the middle. Barking out instructions for this Rustler defense. Now he gets down, puts both hands in the dirt. Wilson takes the snap, belt high, fakes the handoff, tries to get it around the edge on the outside at the 40. He's hit there at about the 39-yard line. That's Saval coming up and making the tackle there. All right, beg your, yeah, Saval there on the stop. Under 7 to play. A lot of good things came out of this game, Ryan Osborn. And then you start the second half.
If you're Golden West, you're actually really encouraged with how your punt return and your special teams looked all afternoon. And the offense at times as well.
Delay a game here. Spoke with Ted Iacinda briefly yesterday, and he talked about this program now under his direction in the 7th season. Some of the team building things that he does. So hard at this level to build that team camaraderie. But you can see it with the COC team as McFadden goes off left guard outside the hash marks and reaches for the 35-yard line. Going to be a little bit shy of that, though, however. Brings up a 3rd down and about 4. In the offseason, they have competition Thursdays. They do a bunch of fun stuff. Not necessarily football related, but
Third down.
play some dodgeball. They'll have a beach day, O-line, D-line competition, O-line, D-line surf competition, that is. So you see the big boys get up on those surfboards. He says you'll be surprised. Some of those guys don't want to give the boards up. They just want to stay in the ocean all day. 5.5 to play as McFadden gets the carry, hitting the backfield. Sele Pamasa there, the first to get there. Saval and also Cook in there on the stop as well for the Rustlers. Also give some credit to Sione Mounga. But he said those are the types of things that you have to do to kind of build that camaraderie, build that team chemistry. Because, I mean, you know as well as I do, Ryan. I mean, each year it's almost like you have a new team. I mean, you get these guys on the field for 2 years max. Maybe 3 with like a gray shirt or a red shirt, but 4th down coming up, and it looks like COC gonna call a timeout prior to the play clock expiring. So we'll get to see Tanner Brown kick a field goal for the first time today. He made one from 50 last week. Ted Iacenda says this is a guy that he thinks could potentially kick on Sundays. His leg is that electric. And we'll get an idea here. This one going to be from 53. It's a big time kick, folks. It's got the Huntington Beach breeze coming at him just a tad. Ball on the far hash mark. The holder is Longstreth. High snap, but he gets the hold down. Brown with a lot of leg, but that one well wide. Looked like it may have been long enough, but definitely not straight enough.
And this is the type of game where you're able to really see and test what his limits are in a game situation. That's going to help you going forward. I mean, we saw it last year with College of the Canyons in the playoff game, actually, where they just weren't able to really look at their special teams and say, go get us 3 points. This is a chance for them to be able to check that out.
Zach Lewis in there at quarterback, 4:39 to play. Rustlers take over 1st and 10 from their own 35-yard line. Lewis looking over the middle, has Hobbs, who takes a big shot. A bunch of flags come in at the 40-yard line. We may be looking at a targeting, Ryan.
I think you're right there, Rahshaun, because that was shoulder towards the head, right about the 38.
So 2 flags came in immediately. Is Hobbs able to hold on to that one? But he took a big hit. Here's Ed Zapolsky.
Personal foul with targeting on number 20 White. By rule, that player has disqualified himself.
So Jalen Lewis, the freshman out of Santa Clarita, by rule ejected from this game because of that targeting penalty. And he'll also have to miss the first half of their next game as well, their conference opener, in a couple of weeks when they host Moore Park on a Thursday night. How'd you like to be a player at College of the Canyons? They got Sunday night football, Thursday night football. They're getting it in. Here's Zach Lewis backpedaling, has Morant in the middle, wide open in the field. And he's able to get it inside the 15-yard line, inside the 10, and down at about the 6-yard line.
That's where that little delayed pass works so well. If you're seeing that the defensive line is getting heavy pressure on you, you suck them into the backfield and just a little toss over top.
1st and goal. Lewis with time, looking back of the end zone. Atencio! He's got it! Touchdown, Rustlers!
And that took a total of 33 seconds.
It's much needed. Lewis's fourth touchdown pass of the season, Atencio's third touchdown grab. And the Rustlers showing some signs of life here, down by 12 with 4:11 to play. Dondo in to attempt the point after. Not sure why you don't go for 2 here, Ryan. Make it a 10-point game. High snap, Atencio gets the hold down. And Arredondo is able to split the uprights. So it's 35-24 the score, 4:11 to play in this one. You go for 2, you make it. You have a touchdown and a field goal, perhaps. The difference between 12 and 11, you still need to get in the end zone twice.
Yeah, and I think I'm with you, Rahshaun. In this case, if you're trying to get back into this game, it's a matter of getting as many points as possible. And you don't want to have to rely on inside of 2 minutes having to go for that 2-point conversion. Because let's say Golden West gets on the board again. Well, now you're thinking to yourself, well, we are probably going to have to go for it at some point the rest of the way. Why not go for it on that situation? Either way, it's still an 11-point deficit at this point.
Those are the first points for the Rustlers since the 54-second minute mark of the second quarter. They trail this one here by 11 with 4:11 to play. Tanner Branson looking to set up an onside kick here. Everybody up for COC. And now we got a shuffle. That was actually Saul Rodriguez in, but now he's replaced by Casper, and Casper comes on late and he kicks it deep. And it's going to be taken on a hop by Longstreth at the 1-yard line, and Longstreth breaks the tackle, gets outside the numbers at the 30-yard line. Diego Jackson hops on his back and throws him down to the turf at the 32. There's a flag on the play. Not sure I've ever seen that before with a late kicker substitution. I didn't know that was legal. Wow. They waved the flag. No flag for a blindside block, says Ed Zapolsky, our white hat today. So 4:01 left. And Eddings back into this game at quarterback for COC. He's got 3 wide receivers, 1 back, and he hands it off to that back, and that's Caden Dunn. We haven't seen Dunn in a long time. He looks fresh, and he is, as he gets a first down and more. Cruises down on the turf at about the 40, slow to get up, but he does. Ends up being an 11-yard pickup for Dunn. Dunn, the Alemany product. We saw him last year. Remember, he left the game early with an injury. And when we saw COC last year, remember, they were with their backup quarterback and still looked phenomenal. 3:30 left. And Dunn straight ahead. Tackle made by Araya. Ball at the 48, brings up a 2nd down and 7 as we approach 3 to play. Of course, COC in no hurry whatsoever. Trying to milk this clock. Eddings looking at the play clock. It has 4. He takes the snap, gives it to Haynes, off left guard, across midfield, and down at the 49-yard line of the Rustlers. And the Rustlers are going to get a timeout here with 2:40 left. down by 11 and facing a 3rd and 3. Rustlers will be heading into the bye next week. A lot to unpack during that time.
Scoring update up north, San Mateo 35, Modesto 12, 10:55 left to go in the 4th quarter.
Wow. Pretty tight affair going on up there.
Butte 24, Laney 7.
Butte putting them hands on Laney right now. 2:40 left. Big 3rd down here for the Rustler defense. They give it to Haynes off the left side, and Haynes hit in the backfield. Jonathan Earl making the stop. And another timeout taken here by the Rustlers. It's their 2nd timeout of the half, so they'll have 1 left. 2:33 left in this one. And the Rustlers looking for a little late game magic here. The ball at midfield and facing the big boot of Tanner Brown. Do you send everybody here, or do you? They're kind of lay back and hope not to get a penalty.
No, I think you send everybody. Twice before in this ball game, you've seen Golden West actually nearly get an opportunity or a hand on the football as it's being released.
There's nobody back to receive this one for the Rustlers, and now Branson retreats back there quickly. Here's the punt by Brown. End over end kick. What a gem. Takes a COC bounce inside the 15, and it gets out of bounds inside the 10 at about the 8-yard line. 2:26 left. 35-24. Rustlers find themselves behind in a game they led 17-14 at the half. And facing an uphill climb to find the end zone. Trailing 2 possessions here in this one. Under 2.5 to play. It's actually. So here's the 1st down play. And here's Lewis. Takes the snap, delivers it to the far side. Carr makes the catch at the 14-yard line. Clock stops with 2:22 to play. Actually, they put it in play. It looked like Carr, I guess Carr did not make it out of bounds, so the clock's still running. Lewis was able to engineer a successful 2-minute drive earlier in this one. Probably need to do something a little bit shorter here this time. Goes downfield looking for Carr. He was double covered there. Rustler fans want a flag, not going to get one. Coverage there by Morton and Pitts. Home fans not happy right now with the non-call there. I didn't see much there, Ryan. I'm not sure if you did.
No, it didn't look like there was anything. Just double coverage.
So here's Lewis once again. 3rd and 5. Pressure right up the middle, and this one skips at Carr, who was running a little slant inside the 25-yard line. And let's see here what they do on 4th down. They keep everybody out there at this point. Lewis on 4th and 5. Lewis dancing in the backfield, now rolling to his left, throws on the run, looking for Armstrong, had it, hit his hands, but from behind, it was separated there by Morton. However, a late flag has come in. There was some contact there between Morton and Armstrong. Not sure it warranted a foul, but let's see. This one not near where the pass interference would have been. So they may have found something else. .147 left.
There are 2 penalties. There are 2 penalties on the play. Holding, offense, number 27. That penalty is declined. Holding, offense, holding, defense, number 27. That penalty is declined. Holding, defense, number 30. That penalty is accepted. 10-yard penalty for the previous spot. First down.
So you got 2 defensive holding penalties against COC. Of course, they can only take 1. So 10-yard penalty moves the ball just shy of the 25-yard line. Zach Lewis has 1:47 to play with, down here by 11. Ball far hash mark, takes the snap, looks to the outside. Outside the numbers is Hobbs, makes the catch, starts inside. Got to get out of bounds there. He doesn't. He's tackled inbounds. And Rustlers forced to burn their last timeout. Eight-yard pickup there, but brings up a 2nd and 2, and Hobbs, the sophomore out of Indiana, unable to get out of bounds. You almost got to know you got to get out of bounds there, right, Ryan?
Yeah, and that's got to be the emphasis, especially with the time ticking down. Now you've used that final timeout. If you're a wide receiver or anyone who's getting the football in that situation, your first look is how close am I to the boundary? And as soon as you make that catch, you actually have to angle your body to give you the best shot at a first step being towards the out-of-bounds marker. In that case, he's just a little bit too far ahead and trying to get upfield.
Yeah, his first step was outside, but he moved it back inside and was unable to get back to the outside. Nice job. You got to credit the COC defenders there. Empty set now for Lewis in the slot. Atencio. And he was hung out to dry there. And a late flag comes in. And Atencio slow to get up. He's able to be helped up, but Courtney Chandler tattooed him there, the sophomore out of Calabasas. He is pleading his case that he hit him with his shoulder. Atencio able to run off under his own strength, but Lewis kind of hung him out there, Ryan.
The question is it defenseless receiver or is it targeting?
I wouldn't be surprised if they waive this. Look like that's what they're going to do. Yeah, they waive it. And Rustler fans not happy about it. COC clapping in celebration. Can't say I disagree with the call. I mean, it looked like a good hit over the middle. So here's Lewis once again. Looking for Carr, getting airborne that time and unable to make that catch. Nice coverage there by Camacho. So here comes a 4th and 2 for the Rustlers with 1:25 left. I don't know, what do you think there? Should that have been a flag? I think the umpire did a great job to throw the flag in there to promote a discussion amongst his cohorts. And they talked it over more after this play. Here's the 4th down play, and that one incomplete. Armstrong, progress was impeded, no flag there. Brandon Jones looked like he held up Armstrong there, but no penalty.
Going back to the penalty, I agree, or the wave penalty, I agree with you. It didn't look initially like it was specific targeting to the head of Atencio. It was just at the exact same moment the defender got there as the football.
So 1:21 left. It'd be a turnover on downs. And you figure COC will just take a couple of knees here and get out of here. Head back up the 405. Eddings under center at the 32-yard line, takes a snap, takes a knee with 1:19 to play. A lot to unpack here for the Rustlers. Played arguably their best half of football in that first half. Second half, not so much. Can't help but to think about Nate Espinoza at this time and that injury and just how long he'll be sidelined. The good thing is the Rustlers do have the bye week coming up. So you would hope that he'll be available for the Bell game. But those foot and or ankle injuries are a tricky thing, especially for someone whose mobility is such a big part of his game, as Eddings takes another knee. Under 30 seconds left now, and both teams will make their way across field to shake hands. And that will be that. A lot of positives for the Rustlers to take from this one. But also, once again, some self-inflicted wounds as well that they certainly would have to clean up as Nick Mitchell and Ted Iacinda meet near midfield and have their post-game discussion, the respective head coaches of these programs. As this one officially goes final. And your final score here in Huntington Beach, Golden West 35, COC 35, Golden West 24. And Ryan, the bye week's coming up. It's a good thing, but of course everybody's questions are going to be with Nate Espinoza and that bad will that he has.
Yeah, and it also makes you wonder the question, what if? What if Nate Espinoza was out there in the second half? The way that he was bringing that offense downfield in the first and early in the second quarter, if he's here in the second half, this ball game at least has a different feel to it, because he was really looking good in terms of throwing the football. He was escaping when he needed to, and something that we saw last year is that Nate Espinoza had a tendency to want to run first and throw the ball second. In the first quarter and start of the second, he looked great throwing the football, and he was only escaping the pocket when he absolutely needed to. If Nathaniel Espinoza is out there in the second half, this is a very different ball game than what we saw play out.
Nate Espinoza, 5 of 13, 66 yards before he left this game today. 55 yards on the ground and a rushing TD for Nate. As for his counterpart, Armani Edding, 17 of 31, 206 yards. He accounted for 4 total touchdowns. Didn't really look like the quarterback we expected him to coming in. We expected to see a much stellar performance from him. Credit the Rustler defense for kind of keeping him at bay. Nonetheless, Rustlers fall 35-24. Special thanks to Ted Iacinda, head coach over at College of the Canyons, and Nick Mitchell, of course, always for his support. Want to say hello to Mrs. Mitch for listening to us and her support of us on sportsnetusa.net throughout the years. Also, my partner today, Ryan Osborn. Appreciate you pinch hitting today. Final score, once again, Canyons 35, Rustlers 24. Golden West will be back in action 2 weeks from today to be the Bell game right here at Golden West. 1 p.m. kickoff on October 19th. That'll be the start of Southern Conference play. With the loss today, Rustlers fall to 2-3 on the season. Canyons improves to 3-1. So for all of us here at sportsnetusa.net, from our partner Ryan Osborn, I'm Rahshaun Haylock. Ed Ford, our operations manager here at sportsnetusa.net. This has been a presentation of Rustler football right here on your home of the Rustlers, sportsnetusa.net. Have a great weekend.